The Tilton was one of my loveliest places to watch a game from.
Did you ever get to meet the guy who used to change the big squares over at half time?
No.
No.
Do you know what? I love that. Do you know what?
Yeah,
Can I just?
that.
There's a guilty secret of mine. I wanted that job.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the man that put up 2-0 or 1-0. I did, because and when you got a programme, they got A, B, C, D, and all that. And you could probably, but mind you, now you'd need 14 pages, wouldn't you? 12:30 kick-off, 1 o'clock kick-off, 5 o'clock kick-off.
Yeah. And then, of course, I remember on the old main stand as well, there used to be the flagpoles are still there. Yeah. A flag of every club.
Yes, all yes.
Every club in the division.
And when I started doing the tannoy, they only had speakers. You know where the tunnel is
one
now?
Great big one.
Yeah. They only had the big speaker there.
The round one.
So I used to, when I did the tannoy, I used to get complaints from Tilton Corner. We can't hear you. And then I get complaints from the railway stand. You're too bloody loud, because I only had one speaker, so I didn't know what to do.
It was a great big horn, wasn't it?
Massive.
I mean, it was the size of this room, right? And it was like a white horn, if I remember right.
That's a big white thing up. So you could hardly hear me on the other side. It's crazy. The world's crackers.
Oh, but they were fun times, eh?
Great times. I loved it. Loved doing that, and doing BRMB as well from the box as well. So I was doing the tannoy, it was just amazing times.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So where else are we going now then?
There
must be something else to talk about blues.
There is. There's loads. There's always something to talk about blues, isn't there? You could never not talk about blues. You know, I was in the pub working away yesterday, and I can't remember which football team he was from, but we just chatted football, blah blah blah,
See,
and we go.
I'm just mindful, I think, of what happens now with blues, because there has to be to engage the fans these days. That you have to be confident of ambition, don't you? I think it engages you. We'll always go and watch them, but it engages you that there's ambition. I'd like to know what that ambition is. I'd like to know.
I think it's there.
Is Gary going to get
certainly
no Rochester to spend?
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to? Is he going to be able to have the wherewithal to change things? Because he does. Listen, we know Blues have punched above their weight this year.
Yeah.
You know, and I never, ever at any stage...
But we also know that we've got a super backroom staff.
Absolutely. But I never believed at any stage they were going to get promoted, you know. Even when they were a few points away, I never really believed it, because I always knew it was a small squad. It had got, certain positions were weaker than others. And so I never... But I thought, for me, mid-table would suit me this season, and then build on it.
See how I get it, Tom, is that at the beginning of the season, the supercomputer had us down in the relegation zone, and because we weren't there, I think that's why they knocked us tonight boys off anyway.
Well, I'm telling you, the EFL, without doubt, are in danger of killing their own competition unless they sort themselves out. There are a lot of clubs, looking over their shoulders, including our neighbours down the road.
Absolutely.
They are looking over there, and I'm told that the Aston Villa owners are the richest outside of Shetland Sewer, right? But you can't just throw money at it. You can't throw money at it. It's all about revenues. So how do they overcome that? Now, they should be allowed...
An assumption that a team with a very rich owner like that, and I don't want to mention their name specifically, gets promoted to the Premier League, can they then just throw money at it?
Yeah, different rules.
There are different rules, but there are rules.
But you get £200 million for being in the Premier League.
I've seen this bandied around. You get £100 million guaranteed. Right, 100 million, and then for every place you finish high, you get. So if you finish second bottom, you get an extra 2 million. Third bottom, 3 million, etc., etc. So the top teams, they haven't moved, by the way, and straight away they're on TV more than anybody else. Yeah. Man City, so Man City probably going to get the 200 million.
Yeah,
right, 200 million. But a team just promoted gets 100 million. But what does it do to your wage bill anyway?
Yeah,
and then that's why chairmen are necessarily a little bit worried about spending all the money. West Brom are very cautious at the moment about spending because they never know if the third year of the parachute, and this is our neighbours down the road, their final year gone, parachute payments, then it kicks in. Then you are in serious trouble. Then you have to look at selling players. Why shouldn't they, and why shouldn't we, our owners, be able to say to the EFL, there you go, there's a irrevocable bond for £20 million. That's what we're going to spend in the transfer market.
Who does that upset?
Nobody.
Well, it upsets Man United, Liverpool, Everton, your big players in the men's game, who don't want to go spending all that money. The whole point of FFP.
I think you're wrong. I think it's more likely to upset the smaller clubs, because the smaller clubs, FFP gets the chairman out of a hole.
But
I
Man
can't
City,
spend.
Man City weren't a big
No,
club,
but they're a different league.
and they did what they did, and that's why FFP came into play, because your Manchester Uniteds and your Real Madrids and your Barcelonas
Absolutely.
don't want Chelsea and
So
Man
tell me-
City and PSG to come in and upset the apple
So tell
cart.
me, FFP came in because Man City, which I think they're the company, what was it, Etihad, was
Yeah,
sponsoring
yeah.
the training
Yeah.
ground sponsoring, and so they brought all these rules in.
Yeah.
And what's happened? They still win everything.
I know.
They
Doesn't
still
ma-
win
doesn't
everything.
make any
Blooming difference.
Doesn't make any difference
Because,
whatsoever.
because it's cost him £1 billion to
Yeah.
put that team together. £1 billion, by the way. He could buy the EFL for that.
But it doesn't matter, because they sold the stadium sponsorship rights, and they built a whole. They've built a whole city with a training complex, and they've put everything into the women's side, and you don't have to. None of the FFP regulations matter about academies and women's sides
Yeah.
and things like that, and they could just push all the money into there and everything
You
like that.
you do stifle ambition if you don't allow people. If they don't allow rich owners to invest, they'll stop attracting, and then all of a sudden it won't be that long before the Premier League becomes by invitation only, because they won't
Yeah.
want Rotherham there.
No, but Rotherham will never be able to.
No, but they won't.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, if by chance they manage it, they won't want them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't mind Leeds.
Oh yeah.
They'd rather have Leeds than
Yeah.
Watford.
I mean, if
Crazy though it seems.
If it was Leeds, Sheffield United, and B6 who went up this year, fantastic.
and Sheffield Wednesday, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Huddersfield, Fulham, and Cardiff go down, and they're replaced by Leeds, Sheffield United, and B6. Oh wow!
You know what?
Hello,
You know
what a
yeah.
dream for the Premier
Do you know
League.
one
That
of the
is.
things we've talked about all the time about this? Money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
That's all it is
and
about.
The whole system is geared now to money. At one time, you've mentioned it half a dozen times now, at the 70s. Francis Latchford.
He used to get paid a pittance, didn't
No, Francis Latchford, Burns, Gallagher. What was the one thing in common? All came through the system.
he? Oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Now, if Birmingham get really good youngsters,
Well,
there's nothing to stop Everton coming in saying, right, thank you, we'll have him for pittance.
Yeah,
Gone. Whereas Southampton sold Bale, they sold Walcott for tens of millions of pounds.
Yeah.
That kept them going. Port Vale made a living, Crewe, out of developing players, selling them. That kept them alive.
Yeah.
Now they can't. We're killing the game with this preoccupation with the Premier League and money. And until they sort that out, we've got no chance.
But look
do you
at the
think
National
bubble will
League.
burst, Bob? Tom, sorry.
Probably not, because
Where did
worldwide.
that come from?
But worldwide, see, this thing about it's a worldwide brand. No, it isn't. Abroad, the teams they want to watch most in Asia, America, Man United, Liverpool. They're the two big
Yeah,
teams.
yeah.
Forget who wins the title.
Yeah.
They're the two big teams in terms of broadcasting rights abroad. Broadcasting rights abroad is becoming more important than the home ones. You mark my words,
That's where the money
they'll be
is,
kicking off
yeah.
at midnight. We'll have a 39th game played in America. David Gold said that years ago, and he was spot
did, I
on.
remember
We're
it.
going to have this 30, and it'll be played somewhere else because all that matters is money. And, you know,
But having said that, he was guilty of that as well.
yeah, maybe.
But
Maybe.
you have this 39th game. Man United play Crystal Palace in New York at some point during the season.
Or in India or China.
Crystal Palace want that, because look at the money that Crystal Palace will get from that, and then they can go and buy a £30 million
And that's
striker.
why-
But
That-
it wouldn't be Crystal Palace, though, would it?
Yeah.
No.
They
What do you
won't.
mean it wouldn't
They
be
won't.
Crystal Palace?
They wouldn't make
Crystal
it.
Palace.
They
Say it
won't.
was us. Say we went up into the Premier League, and the first season we went up, it was the
But in
first.
terms of TV sponsorship, not just the TV rights, but sponsorship and everything else, I'm telling you now, the Premier League would make it Man United, Liverpool.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then the advertising revenue would go through the roof all over
It
the world.
only needs one of them there.
What the Premier League would love, they'll never admit it, they'd love Celtic in there. Because worldwide Celtic are as big as any. Not big, and not for football reasons,
Yeah,
financial
but-
reasons.
yeah,
It's all
yeah,
about
yeah,
money.
yeah.
I'm sick to death of every conversation you get is money. Even
But
David.
not even the Premier League. The
David-
National League, Salford,
Paying
AFC
big wages,
Fylde.
paying big
Salford
wages.
and AFC Fylde are only in the top 7 because they've spent their way there.
But everywhere you go, it's about money. I remember David Sullivan, got beat in the playoffs That's cost us X million. Not, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah,
It's cost
yeah,
us
yeah.
X million.
Yeah.
Got promoted. We've earned X million. No, not the glory.
Yeah.
It's all about money and drives me crackers.
Well, the playoff final, it's not a playoff final. It's the £120 million
Most
game,
expensive
isn't
game
it?
in the world,
Yeah.
the 120 million
It's not.
pounds.
It's not a who can get to the Premier League. It's who can get all this money.
So, but you said, will the bubble burst? I can't see it.
only
Because
gonna get
while
worse,
there's an
right?
appetite for
Yeah.
the greatest game, and it is the greatest game on the planet, the greatest game on the planet, even though academies and coaches try to reinvent it every other week. You know, you hear the new phraseology now. Rest football. Rest football. What's it? Or what you do off the ball? We're talking about that 30 years ago. Don't try and reinvent a game that's simple. But nevertheless, it's about money, and it won't be anything different. And the people don't want to change it because they're the ones earning all the money.
On the subject of money,
I'm not getting any, am I?
No, you
Thank
haven't
you.
even got a biscuit, mate. Wants to know how much you think Shea's worth.
Well, this is a good one because I've seen this in various figures bandied around. He's untried outside the Championship. And he's only got one season in the Championship really under his belt, hasn't he, in terms of big goal scoring.
Big goals, yeah.
You know, so
But that's all you need.
yeah, but yeah, he'll go for a lot of money,
That's
but
all
he
you'll
ain't going to
need.
go for the 30 million I've seen.
Not
quoted.
30.
I think they'll get double figures for him because he's a goal scorer. If I was putting me, I'd say at the moment the way the market is, people will take a punt on him for 12 million, 12, 14 million, I would think.
14?
I can't see him going for much more.
Okay.
I really can't see
Anything
it.
less than 20 million, and I'm rejecting it immediately.
Good for you. I wish we could.
Yeah.
But that might be the get out of the jail card.
Maybe our hand will be forced. You're
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, possibly.
You know.
But you'd have thought if your hand was being forced, they'd have known that in January.
I'm sure the EFL tried to forcefully
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
Che
yeah,
Adams,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, this is what drives me nuts. You've got to sell Che Adams, okay? So you get 20 million. To
You're not
replace
allowed to
Che
bring
Adams,
anyone
but
in,
no,
yeah.
but to replace him, you're going to have to spend more than that anyway to replace him, and they won't let you spend it anyway. So they're killing your ambition.
Yeah.
They're killing you as a club.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
cannot be right.
Yeah.
That cannot be right.
100% agree.
The EFL is not fit for purpose. It's run by. It's a small place.
You heard it first thing on the Tilton Talk Show.
It's a small place, and you've got people on the panel, their committee, from like League 2 and League 1 clubs whose aims and ambitions are different, far different to Birmingham City's
Yeah.
or
We
Leeds
just mentioned-
or
we-
West Brom.
We mentioned it earlier. Tom's just said you've killed the ambition of Blues for 18 months now because we knew we had this hanging over us. So you've stopped us competing as a championship club. Meanwhile, Bolton players are having to go on strike for the next 48 hours because for the 8th time this season, over the last 12 months, their owner hasn't paid their players or staff on time. Who's the problem?
Now, see,
Who's the issue? Who should the EFL be looking at punishing here?
you see, the EFL will say, "See what happened to Bolton? That's why we're protecting you." That's what they'll say, and this is why I say the easiest answer is to get the really rich owners, if they're serious, to put this irrevocable bond in, so that if everything went pear-shaped, that's there to pay everybody and make sure all the debts are paid, make sure all the players are paid. You can do that. Sadly,
But
they
that
won't
hasn't been
do
the
it.
case with Bolton this last 2 months, though, is it? Bolton haven't paid their players for 2 months.
No,
That's why
but
they
what
were
I'm saying
outside
is, but in the end, the PFA will play them anyway. PFA would pay them. But my point is that if you had that irrevocable bond from the owner before he spent all the money and got them into trouble, it would have covered that. All I'm saying is, if your owners are that wealthy, make them prove it and put down that sort of irrevocable thing that says, okay, you can then go and spend that 20 million because we know you're good for it because we've got this irrevocable bond from you. Why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Go on then.
We've got yet another competition.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the 3-word review for this week, won by Ray Price with Hard Fought Loss.
Hard fought loss.
Oh, from Friday, that presumably.
Yeah.
Get in touch, Ray.
But you know, the one thing I will say is, and I think the fans have been great under Gary Monk this year, because Gary Monk gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
You know, he knows what this is about. He gets us.
It's the perfect fit,
He's
isn't it?
engaged with the fans. He talks to the fans. And remember, I mean, I can't remember. Have a look. Is it 3 wins in 15 we've got?
Not, yeah.
3 wins in 15,
Yeah.
I think. Listen, but they're still with him. And he's united everybody, and we're going to need that in these last 7 games. We're going to need everybody together because, you know, I personally, I think they'll be okay, if I'm totally honest with you, because I think Bolton, I think will go.
Yeah.
They've got too many problems. Ipswich are down, and Rotherham are bereft of confidence after that hammering.
Yeah.
And we play them. We play Rotherham.
As do them across the road.
We play Rotherham
as well.
We play Ipswich. We play Reading, and we play
Wigan.
Millwall.
Wigan.
Wigan.
Wigan,
So it is
yeah,
Wigan.
yeah.
Now these are big games, but you know, win them all.
Leeds and
see-
Sheffield United in the next week are as well. You know, they've got their own things that they're going for, obviously. But the pressure is arguably, you know, as equal on them as it will be us.
But I personally think, watching Blues, I've seen every home game this season. Blues are far better equipped the way they play. If you watch
the
Blues,
setup. Yeah,
Blues say to the opposition, "Have the ball."
yeah,
I think against West Brom,
yeah.
it was about 80-20 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Blues played us well with that 20% what they had. And I think Blues say, "Have the ball, and we'll catch you on the counter."
We'll do our damage when we get it back. Yeah.
When teams come to St Andrews and sit like Millwall did, Blues haven't the answers. So I think maybe Sheffield United and Leeds, we might be better against them.
Yeah.
We might actually be better against them. I'm banking on it anyway, you know.
Not going to do the last 15 minutes tonight, mister.
No.
Out of respect for Tom being here.
What do you do normally then?
Normally I do a word association. Like I'll pick a subject and then people will
Like what?
word association. Right, okay, let's say.
Oh, you're going to start Tom off now, aren't you?
All right, okay. What we'll do is the last 10 minutes. Then it's anything you'll find in the bathroom with anything to do with the football. I'll start you off with Talcum Page.
Oh, good one. Yes.
Look at his face. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Talcum Page, I like that.
Tell you what we'll do, Dick.
Yeah,
I'll look.
you look at them.
I'll look at them, right?
Right.
Right at the end, and I'll pick a few good ones.
It's got to be
Okay.
Blues related.
No, footballers. Anything to do with footballers.
So
Can
could you accept bathroom Matt Doherty?
Yeah. Why not? The idea, see, is to try and make him smile. This is the idea.
I hate it.
know.
I absolutely.
I know.
Hey,
Yeah,
can I just say? Can I
Tom
just say?
Floss. We've got Tom Floss.
you said,
Sorry, I couldn't help that one.
You said earlier you haven't quite got enough room in your life for hate.
I know.
I have. I've got plenty
Can I
of
just
room
say,
in my life for
seriously,
hate, and I
seriously,
hate this
You need
section
a
of the
bit of
show
therapy here because you need to chill.
for more than one reason.
You need to
yeah.
chill. You need to chill.
Right, can I eat a little bit of humble pie?
Oh, hang on.
You can try.
No, this is straight from the heart. Right,
Yeah.
okay, and I've knocked. But for England to score 10 goals in 2 games was absolutely amazing.
They're a terrific outfit.
They are looking a terrific outfit.
They are a terrific
They're
outfit.
looking a terrific outfit.
They
Time
have-
will
I
tell.
don't think they're a terrific outfit
Time
yet.
will tell.
I think we've been very pleasantly surprised under Southgate. the
Yeah.
youngsters coming in. We are ever so good in this country at getting carried away. We haven't, when we start.
But if you
when-
can't
when
let
we-
yourself get carried away,
No. But you have to be realistic. There has to be a touch of realism in it because
yeah.
who've we beaten?
But I don't buy the who have we beaten because
think
you
that's
look
important.
You look around the rest of Europe, and teams aren't blowing teams away anymore. Slovakia aren't a Slovakia of the 1970s. Montenegro aren't a Montenegro of 10 years ago.
Countries then, it was Czechoslovakia. then.
Well, yeah, but these teams aren't nobody's anymore. They're better
I do
players are
agree.
playing in the top tier.
I-
Spain are beating teams 2-1. Italy, and
do agree.
Germany are
I do agree.
struggling to get out of World Cup groups.
Right, I do agree there because at one time, and I had this conversation the other day, England could beat a team 6-0 easily.
Yeah.
But now, those teams, Kazakhstan and teams like
Yeah.
that, they've got qualified coaches, well organised
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
But it's interesting that a lot of the African countries, their best players are playing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Which is making them better players for their national teams.
Of course it is.
Right? So in the end, our Premier League doesn't help our national team. Never has.
And we've had this discussion before. I'll disagree with you there as well.
so-
just for a laugh, I'll disagree with you there as well because
Listen, I've been married 4 times. I'm used to people disagreeing with me.
because if our young players, so if Raheem Sterling, Raheem Sterling's playing week in week out in a league 80% full of English players, you aren't going to get the Raheem Sterling you've got now. Raheem Sterling's developed the way he has because he's played alongside exceptional international players, and he is up against the best of the best in defensively as well.
I don't see how you can say that using that analogy. Until England wins something, you can't say that.
No,
Till England wins
you
something.
said earlier, Tom.
No, till they win something.
No, only one team can win something,
No,
especially
absolutely.
internationally.
But you'd like to be there or thereabouts.
We got to the semi-final.
At the Euros. The World Cup is a different
It was a
thing.
World Cup. It was a World Cup last year. We got to the semi-final of a
Was it the
World
World
Cup.
Yeah,
Belgium.
Yeah.
yeah, the World Cup. That's it.
Right, the Euros are next, aren't they?
Euros are next.
I just don't think it's. I don't think it is for me. I thought we were well beat. I just don't think we're as good as you make us out to be. I think we're better. Than we were.
I think we're getting better and
We're
better and better.
I like his philosophy
yeah.
with the youngsters.
Yeah.
What I don't like, and this is what I don't like about him, if you haven't been in their system,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to play. I know you hate me mentioning him, but Grealish is an example because he wasn't in their system. You look at all those players, under 9s, under 10s, under 15s,
Yeah.
under 17s, under 21. He wants players in the system that.
I don't think that's him. I think that's the FA. I think that's the FA blueprint. I think it's we will play every single age group will
Yeah,
play
age group.
exactly the same way.
No.
So whether you're playing under 13s England,
I'd love England to win the
schoolboy
World
football
Cup.
or full team football, England will set up exactly the same way so that when you're playing the current 12-year-olds who are playing schoolboy football for England, in 10 years' time, when they're 22, they'll have been playing that way for 10 years under different coaches with the same group of players. So then when they're all 22, in 10 years' time, they know each other, they know exactly what they're doing as a
See,
team.
where I think he's wrong, when he talks about until you've played, we want players who've got to play in the Premier League because they have to play these.
Yeah.
I honestly believe international football is a lot easier to play because it is without any sort of physicality.
Yeah.
It's all about playing. The Premier League's different to that.
Yeah.
There's much more energy, much more pace, much more, thing. You know what I mean? It's a higher
Yeah,
tempo game that we play.
Yeah.
And a lot of the coaches that come to this country, the Guardiolas, they want the tempo slowed. They don't want it played
Yeah.
as frenetically as we do play it. And I think that's the problem. So I ain't so sure. I'm sure it's easier for them players to play for England than it is to sometimes play for their clubs.
Yeah, possibly. Well, Hudson-Odoi and Hudson-Odoi came
The
in.
competition's coming up. It's next year now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Competition. So,
The
Euros,
the
yeah.
Euros.
The
And the
only thing-
Nations
You've got the
League.
Nations League this summer and then the Euros next
What a
year.
waste
yeah.
of time that is. From my point of view,
What?
Better than friendlies.
That is such an unfounded statement.
Why?
There is no substance behind that statement
I think it's
whatsoever.
better than playing friendlies.
How can that be a waste? How can the Nations League be a waste of time
Bring the
when you used to have? Well, there's
Well, I
another
would.
thing.
I would. I
What
love the
another
Irish.
ridiculous thing to say.
Why?
In this summer we'll be playing the Netherlands and then a final, possibly against Portugal in Portugal. Would you rather have that, or would you rather play every year a side that's just lost 3-0 away to Kazakhstan? Which one's going to improve you as a team?
Hang on.
The only reason you want that is so you can laugh at Scottish people.
Before Birmingham got in the Premier League, you were one of those going, can't wait till we play Villa. No difference with England, Scotland.
Well, no.
1-0.
At the time, Villa were a Premier League side.
See, he smiled. We've got a smile.
You did get a smile. At the time, Villa were a Premier League side. I'd much rather play a very good, improving Netherlands side this summer.
So would you
than
rather see
have to
Birmingham playing Man U or Villa?
Man U.
No, not for me. I love the derbies. Love the derbies.
If it improved you as a side, I'd rather have a tournament where we go abroad and play Real Madrid, Man United, and Barcelona, rather than have a tournament in Northern Ireland where we play Wolves, West Brom, and Villa.
See, on me, I'm all about. I love. Maybe I'm a bit older, and so I accept that I'm probably a traditionalist.
Here's the problem, right?
I love the.
Here's the problem. And
Football's
I
about
love the derby.
football- Football's
I
about
absolutely
passion.
love Blues
I'll go
Villa
back to the
games.
times when we had Hugh Johns and Star Soccer on Sunday, yeah, and we had a Midlands Division 1, right, with all the Midlands
Yeah.
teams. We didn't have to travel very far to go to a football game. It was Stoke, it was Coventry, it was Blues, Baggies, Wolves,
Yeah.
them up the road. There was loads of them. I think
Yeah.
Oxford was probably the furthest
Yeah.
one. And I think we probably got spoiled back then by having that, right? And of course, you always hold on to your memories about it. And we haven't got it now, right? We've got to go to Rotherham or...
I've been to loads of England,
whatever,
Scotland
whatever.
games. It's the passion, the excitement. I get more out of that. And I went to see England play France after all the shootings in France. So it was a very
Wembley,
very
yeah.
emotional night. But in terms of the passion of the football, was nothing like England Scotland. Nothing like it. It's not just the game. It's the weeks building up, everything about it.
The passion of a game doesn't improve you as a team.
But it's not. Why is it? Why? It's all about.
Because I want as good a Blues team and as good an England team as possible. I want the best for my team, and the best for my team is to improve. The best for England is not to play Scotland every summer. It's to play the best teams every summer and see where you are against these best teams. But you see,
this is another mistake. Why does it have to be? Why can't it be as well as and not instead of? You can have the Nations League.
Where are you fitting them in?
Well, they do already. They've still got friendly games now with the Nations League. The Nations League, if it was the home internationals, for example, the Stanley Rouse Cup, wasn't it? We played for Stanley Rouse Cup. You could have that. You could also have your other competitions and play your Spains and whatever else. But have you ever seen any of them take them seriously? England, Scotland's always serious. A friendly against Spain. World Cup's different. Euros are different. Friendlies against Spain and Germany. We beat Germany 5-0, if I seem to remember rightly, in a friendly, and couldn't win a penalty shootout for I don't know how long. We could beat them in big competitions, but we beat them in a friendly. Friendlies. But there's no such thing as a friendly with England, Scotland.
Well,
there we go. We have the end of the word association, and the ones that Chris has chosen out are these: Gel Merrick.
What? Gel Merrick?
Gel Merrick, hair gel.
Oh, that's a bit rough. That.
Luther Blissett.
Luther Blissett, I like that.
Ian Bogbrush. Ben Floster. Paul Plugber. No. Trevor Sinclair.
Sinclair, yeah.
Omar Bogrol.
I like the way you're trying to sort of explain them.
Hotter water. Instead of hotter chocolate this week, at least.
Yeah.
He's not having it, are you?
No,
Lee Damp.
Definitely not.
Christoph Plugary. And Lee Carsey.
Yeah, good fun. Now listen,
I love fun.
I learned,
That's why you're called Mr. Fun.
but I learned it a long time ago in radio. It doesn't always have to be serious. Entertainment, humour, have the line. Have you got
Right,
any
okay, very quickly. Game, Saturday, Leeds.
1-1.
1-1, Tom.
How about this? 2-1 Blues.
2-1 Blues. Chris Brown.
2-1 Blues.
Adam Wilkes.
2-2.
I'm going to go...
Gutless.
2-0 to the Blues.
Hey, they've all been to B&Q, ain't they? Get them fences.
Absolutely. Oh, well, at least we don't go Dunelm.
He smiled again, by the way. I've done it. I've got two smiles out of him.
His crack one.
I love my fence.
It's great.
Nice and comfortable.
Tom Ross, it's been an absolute pleasure and a delight to have you back
Yeah,
in with
we've
us
got
again.
so
The
much
time's
more
just
to-
flown past.
You call me back any time. I'd love to come again. It's great.
Yeah, no problem. Tomorrow.
Will there be any biscuits? It'll be after Lent. All right. I want biscuits.
After Lent. When does Lent finish?
It's
19. Well, yeah.
It's
19th to the 22nd, is it?
I dare say you might have some leftover bits of chocolate.
But it's been an absolute pleasure, and
Mr.
keep
Fun,
right
thank you
on.
very much indeed for your time and your efforts and for smiling.
But by the way, just a lot of things, a lot of talk about the keep right on before we kick off.
Yeah.
That is the one Ian and Dantra and I did. Ian Dantra and the Blue Nose Brothers. That's our song.
Okay.
And we did it deliberately, trying to make it as close to how the Terraces do it.
Yeah.
As not, so that he could play it and drop it out and sing it.
When they drop it at the right moment, it's fantastic.
And people continue.
And everybody carries on. Brilliant.
And I think that's why we did it that way.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Thanks for clearing that one up, Tom.
Yeah.
Adam Wilkes, thank you very much. Mrs. Brown. And for myself.
Bye.
Keep right on. Phil St Andrews on Saturday. Not sure if I can get there. I've got a lot of work on there. I've got DJ job to do Saturday.
Drop it.
Work in the day.
Drop it. Tell him, money.
It buys my fence.
You haven't got a fence. You went 2-0 Blues.
The game's gone.
Tom, anytime, mate. Nice
Cheers,
to see
mate.
you.
Nice to be here.
Thanks ever so much. I don't know where the time's flown to tonight, but that's the way it is. I'd like to thank all the people from B6 for joining in tonight. Pity about your spelling. And the clocks, of course, went forward, so Andy Pond is only just starting, so off you go, Bill.